Welcome back. Today we'll look at paper 2 variant 23 of the May-June 2023 series. Now, as always, this video might go on quite long, so feel free to watch at 1.25 or 1.5 times the speed. Right, so tick one box to complete the sentence. A constant, is it something that stores a value that can change at any time during the execution of a program? So let's think this one then, A. Right, well, something that can change, that's going to be a variable. Right, then if we look at B, right, stores a value that cannot change during the execution of a program. So yeah, here then this is going to be a constant. Let's look at C, right, so stores values of multiple data types. Actually for IG we don't have that, but for A level this would be a record. Again, yeah, that's only for A level. Right, and then D, well, stores values that must be of the same data type. So in here, if it's going to store multiple values, right, of the same data type, that's then going to be an array. Right, then we want to explain the purpose of the library routines mod and random. So mod, well, hopefully you know this, but this is just going to return the remainder. So let's say we have something like mod, right, 5 and then 2. Well, this will return 1. Because if we do 5 divided by 2, well, then we can divide it wholly, 2 times, right? And then we have 1 remaining. I'll use the pizza example that I always use. So what this is saying is, well, if we have 5 slices of pizza and 2 people, then what will happen is, well, if we do div, so let's do div 5 2. Then what this is saying is it's saying, well, each person will get 2 slices of pizza, okay, and then there'll be 1 slice of pizza remaining. Likewise, if we make this, maybe mod 10, and let's go, for example, 3. Again, let's go, right, div 10 and then 3. Well, here we've got 10 slices of pizza, 3 people. So hopefully you can see here that each person will get 3 slices of pizza. And again, I suppose here there's also going to be 1 remaining. Because obviously, with 10 we can get like 9. 9 slices of pizza will be 3 each, right? And then of course that means there's 1 remaining. So let's just say that, right, so to calculate the remainder, the remainder of dividing, let's say, one number by another. Right, then if we look at random, so random, this is going to generate a random number between 0 and 1 inclusive. So let's say that, to generate, let's say a random, real number, then in the range, 0 to 1 inclusive. So I think that should be fine. And if you want to try these, of course, well, you can try these on the website. Right, then we'll describe what happens when a function is called during the execution of a program. This one is a bit tricky, so let me actually demonstrate this. Right, and then let's open it here in the code editor. Right, so let's try and create a function that will just square a number. Right, so hopefully you know the syntax. Let's go function square. Let's call it n, and maybe let's make this a real. Okay, so they can pass in a real number as a parameter. Right, then we're just going to go returns, and we say the data type is going to return. So here, well, that's also going to be a real, because of course if you do something like 1.2 squared, well, that's going to be a real number. Right, then we just want to return. So here we could do n times n like this. Right, alternatively we can just do n squared, right, or n to the power of 2. Right, and then what if we want to call this? So let's just go square, and let's say 4.5. And then so I guess here it's saying it's the answer. So let's think about what actually happens when we call this. Well, first of course we're on line 2, and then what we're doing is we're going to be passing this 4.5 to the function. When we pass this to the function, then execution is going to jump here, back to this point. Execution is going to jump to this point. Of course, then it's going to do the code inside the function, right? When it returns, well, then it's going to return back to this location here, and basically it's going to replace this function call, with the actual answer, and of course then it's just going to output this. Right, so yeah, I think that's what we want to explain. And to be honest, I mean, I have mentioned this website before, but there is a website here, right, godbolt.org, and here, you know, you can actually type in the code, and then, yeah, you can actually see exactly kind of the assembly that it gets converted to. Now, in reality, well, I mean, here it's just C++, right, just, yeah, as an example, right, they have many languages. You know, in reality, of course, well, the real executable would be like machine code, but here they're showing it as assembly, right, just so it's easier to visualize. Because yeah, kind of visualizing machine code is, you know, kind of impossible for humans. And I mean, yeah, kind of if you're stuck on any of this, I mean, again, it does kind of explain what each of these do. You know, ChatGPT is also good if you just copy all of this into ChatGPT. But again, you know, that's only for people that actually want to learn, right, you know, what it's actually doing exactly. Right, so let's say here then, we can say maybe, yeah, let's say parameters, right, or well, let's say arguments. Right, I'm going to say arguments are just, you know, the values inside the brackets. Right, so arguments can be passed. Yeah, right, let's say can be passed to the function. I mean, let's say maybe, yeah, I know. I mean, let's say execution, right? So execution will jump to the function's location in memory. Because, I mean, let's say the output statement that we had is, you know, what, line 2, or let's say instruction 2. Maybe that function is, you know, sort of line 4 or instruction 4, right? Well, then obviously it's going to jump to instruction 4. And then, yeah, when that's finished, right, then it's going to jump back to instruction 2. Right, so, yeah, execution will jump to the, right, let's say to the location, right, of the start of the function in memory. And I mean, as I always say, right, in the exam, you want to write this in, like, you know, sentences, paragraphs. Don't just do bullet points. Right, then what we can say, I mean, yeah, maybe let's say then. So right, let's say, yeah, then the function, let's say the function body will execute. So we can probably say, right, the function body, yeah, let's say the function body will execute, right, until a return statement is reached. Right, so yeah, until a return statement is reached. Let's say, right, at which point, right, let's say at which point maybe the original function call will be replaced by the return value. Right, so yeah, the original function call, right, will be replaced by the return value. Right, and then let's say, yeah, and let's say program execution will continue. Yeah, maybe say continue from the, I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, basically it's going to continue, you know, from the point, kind of like before the function was called. So I mean, again, what we're saying then is, well, if we're, let's just go back. Right, so when we see this function, well, I mean, then it's just going to, I mean, okay, well, so you say first it's actually going to, it's going to add the parameters, right, all these arguments to the stack, right, so basically just adding it to memory. Then it's going to jump, right, to the actual location of the function, so I guess, yeah, sort of, you know, line 4. Right, then of course it's going to execute the function body, which in this case, well, that's only one line, or yeah, one statement. And, you know, when it reaches a return statement, well, then it's basically just going to, you know, obviously calculate this value, right, put it in a register, and then this value here will then get updated, right, with the actual return value. And of course here, that, well, here it's going to jump, you know, from line 5, and obviously, yeah, jump back to line 2, and then, you know, at which point, like, the next code can just continue executing. So yeah, I mean, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that question is a little difficult, right, possibly. Right, so explain why verification checks are used when data is input. So let's say here, maybe when data is copied from one location to another. And yeah, this is a kind of key term they want, right? So it's not necessarily just about input. It's about, when you're copying data from one location to another. Now, this could be from, I don't know, from paper and, into the system. Yeah, it could be from, one computer to another. So let's say maybe to ensure that the data is copied correctly. Yeah, so let's say it's copied correctly from one location to another. And yeah, probably here we can give an example. So let's say, right, e.g., maybe between devices. Right, or we can say, yeah, or from paper. Right, yeah, maybe from paper, right, into a computer. Yeah, so I think that should be okay. Right, so give two types of verification check and state how each one can be used. Now, I will admit, I did actually check the book just to see how many they list. And in the book, right, they do also only list two. So the first one there is just going to be the double entry check. And so what this is going to be, I mean, yeah, sometimes they say it can be the same person entering twice, but usually it's actually going to be, two different people. Because I guess if you have, the same person entering twice, like maybe they see some text, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I'm trying to think of some, spelling or something. I mean, I don't know, like let's say they see google.com, right? Now, if in reality, I don't know, maybe it's like google.co.uk or something, now they might accidentally write google.com, and because they've sort of got this, sort of google.com is the answer in their head, right? Then the second time maybe they just type it quickly again, right? And then they would make the same mistake again. So yeah, that's why it's better to have two different people doing it, because basically they won't have any sort of let's say they won't have any preconceived idea, right, of what the data is after the first entry. So yeah, obviously they're kind of entering it twice right from the first time. Right, so let's just try and explain that. So right, let's say, yeah, two different people. Right, two different people can enter the data. Let's say, right, will only be accepted if the results match. Right, so yeah, will only be accepted. Right, let's say, yeah, if both entries are the same. Alright, and then, I mean, the next one, honestly, doesn't seem that secure or, yeah, that good, maybe that reliable. But it's just going to be the visual entry. So yeah, let's say visual entry check. And I mean, what this is going to be is literally someone just, looking carefully, kind of, character by character, yeah, making sure they typed it in correctly. So let's just say, I know, yeah, the user. Right, the user should look carefully. Yeah, and we can say, I don't know, maybe like multiple times. Right, to verify that they have copied the data correctly. Or yeah, let's say they have entered the data correctly. Okay, yeah, so I think that's okay. Right, next one, 4 descriptions of validation checks are shown. Draw one line to link each description to the most appropriate check. Right, not all checks will be used. Right, so the first one, to check the data entered is an integer. Well, right, this is going to be a type check. So yeah, we can see here. Right, to check that some data has been entered. So basically to check it's not empty. So checking it's not empty, that's going to be presence check. To check the data entered has an appropriate number of characters. Right, so this is going to be a length check. For example, checking a password is at least 8 characters. Right, check the to check that an identification number contains no errors. Okay, so I think here probably they're gonna say check digit. Because for example, this can be like an ISBN number, and I mean obviously, well, you know, based on the ISBN number, right? And so, well, when I say ISBN, I mean this is like the ID number for a book. You know, obviously, well, based on all of the digits you enter, you know, this should result in a certain check digit, and if the check digit is incorrect, or yeah, well, I mean, you can say, you know, if the numbers don't kind of result in the correct check digit, then it means that you must have entered some of these numbers wrong. And I mean, to be honest, right, if you forgot about check digits, like, you can literally just search like ISBN check digit on YouTube, and you know, there's like 2-minute videos that explain how it works. Right, yeah, it's you know, quite simple. Right, so write an algorithm in pseudocode to make sure that an input for the variable length is between 15 and 35 inclusive. Right, the code must iterate until a valid input has been made, and the code must include appropriate messages. Alright, so let's just actually do this on the site. Now first I'm just going to declare, although yeah, you actually don't need to declare in the exam. So I'm just going to write a comment here. Right, so I mean obviously, yeah, all of this under the comment, this is what you would need to do. Now I think what we want is, because it says display appropriate messages, then this probably means, well, first you want a message, you know, enter a number between like 15 and 35, and then I mean if it's correct, right, then of course it's just going to end. But if it's incorrect, or yeah, if you know, if the data is not in that range, so if it's abnormal, you know, then you probably want some message like, yeah, try again, you know, that number is not between 15 and 35. So in this case, because we want kind of 2 different messages, then the first message we would want before the loop, and then let's say the second message we can have inside the loop. Yeah, and of course, well, this would, you know, keep looping, right, while the data is not within that range. So let's just go, right, output, yeah, enter a number, right, between 15 and 35. Right, then let's just go input, and yeah, that's going to be length. Now here we want to think, I mean, if we use a repeat until, well, a repeat until is always going to execute the code at least one time. But you know, here, like, if they've entered a valid length first, right, then we actually don't want to go inside the loop. So that means, well, we need a while loop. So what we want to say, right, while length is, let's say, what, less than 15. So yeah, what I mean, basically here we're checking, right, while it's invalid, or yeah, while it's abnormal. Right, so while it's less than 15, right, okay, yeah, or length is what, greater than 35. And then I mean, this do is optional, you know, you don't need it now. Right, so then let's just output again. Let's say try again. And I'm actually just gonna enter this. So we'll say, you know, try again, and then maybe if they entered 40, it will say, yeah, try again, 40 is not between 15 and 35. Right, and then yeah, remember just to input again. Because yeah, otherwise if you don't input, you're going to get an infinite loop. Yeah, alright, so I mean here, let's just say run anyway. Like, what that's saying is, what I'm saying, this length is also the name of a function, and yeah, sometimes people misspelled it. But I mean here, this is actually the valid variable name. Right, so let's try, for example, 10. Okay, yeah, try again. Let's try 40. Alright, try again. And let's try, for example, 30. Yeah, that's fine. And let's also try getting it correct on the first time. So let's try like 25. And then yeah, here it just ends. Alright, so I think that's working. Question 6 says an algorithm has been written in pseudocode to allow 100 positive numbers to be input. The total and average of the numbers are to be output. Right, so I think first I'm just going to read through it, okay, try to understand what it's doing, and then, well, yeah, then when we've done that, then I'll try and look for the 4 errors. So first they're assigning 100 to counter. Now this possibly seems a bit strange because, you know, usually this would start from maybe 0 or 1 or something like that. Right, so then, yeah, total they assign 0, and that seems okay. Right, then they say while counter is greater than 100. And again, this seems a little bit strange because, I mean, here they want 100 numbers, so this should probably be less than 100. Right, then we input a number. Right, we check if the number is greater than 0. Okay, so checking if it's positive. Then what we do is total and then plus counter. Now this here counter, I mean, if you think counter is just going to be obviously just like 1, 2, 3, 4, right, etc., right up until 100. So I think it's not the counter we want to be adding, right? It's actually this number that we want to be adding. And then counter is counter plus 1, right? That seems okay. So here we have end case. Now if you look, okay, of course this should be end if. I mean, right, the end while, yeah, that looks okay. And then the output, the total value of your numbers is total. Yeah, I mean, that seems okay. And then, right, 12, the average value of your numbers is, right, total divided by 100. Yeah, so that also seems okay. All right, so, I mean, let's try and look for the errors though. So I think one error is this end case here on line 9. I think the other error we said was this counter here. Right, the other error, yeah, I think this one should be less than 100. And I think this one again, right, this should be 0. Right, so let's just try and write all of those, and we are going to want to use the line numbers. So let's say line 1. Or let's say, should assign 0 to counter. Right, and then, let's just do that. So let's go counter, right, and then just, the assignment arrow, right, and then 0. Right, so the next one, okay, that's going to be line 3. And here the error, I mean, I don't know, we could just say like, should loop while less than 100. Right, let's say, while counter is less than 100. Right, so the correction then, what that's going to be while. So while counter, right, is less than 100. And then, I think here they also have the do as well. Right, the next one, so that's going to be line 7. Yeah, line 7. And then here, I mean, let's say, right, should, add, and then let's say number, because, this is the number input, right, to total. And then, I mean, so here then we're just totaling, right, so total, right, and then that's going to be total plus number. Right, and then I think the last one's at line 9, possibly, line 9. Right, let's say, I don't know, should use end if. Okay, I mean, I think that's fine. Right, then the correction here, let's just write end if. Alright, so that seems okay. Then we want to describe the changes we should make to the corrected algorithm so that a count controlled loop is used, right, to allow 100 positive numbers to be input. Right, okay, so let's just go up here, and maybe I'm just going to erase all of this. Okay, so if we're using a count controlled loop, one thing we need to do here on line 3, right, obviously, we want to make this a for loop, and we can just do like for counter, right, let's assign that to 1, and then we'll just go to 100. Now, I mean, this will kind of work, but the problem is, right, if they ever enter like a negative number, then, the counter is still going to go to the next, obviously the counter is still going to increment, right, even if they enter a negative number. So what we then want to do, we want to wrap this input inside, let's say, a repeat until. So what we'd want to do, repeat input number, right, and then basically here, right, until number is greater than 0. And then in this case you think, we also won't need line 8, because what we would do is, we would change this end while, and this would then just become next counter. And I mean, here you've also got to think, we also don't need this if statement, because like if we're repeating until they enter something greater than 0, then we don't need to check if it's greater than 0. because obviously, well, the fact it's exited the loop, right, that means it's going to be bigger than 0. So yeah, let's try and write that, and again, we do want to include those line numbers. So what's it going to be, line 3? Right, so let's say, yeah, on line 3, right, we should, let's say, change the while loop. Right, to a for loop. And let's, well, let's just say, right, looping, and well, we can just say like 1 to 100. Okay, that's fine. Right, I mean, let's maybe say also. And then, right, is that on line, maybe line 9? So yeah, where is this end while? Okay, right, line 10. Alright, let's say, yeah, also on line 10. I mean, I don't know, I mean, yeah, well, maybe, right, also line 10 we should modify. Or let's say to, yeah, I don't know, to next counter. Right, and then, so because of this, let's say, yeah, we can, maybe we can therefore, we want to say, well, we can remove that increment counter part. Right, so what line is that? Right, so yeah, we can say, well, we can therefore remove the, you know, increment counter on line 8. Right, we can remove the statement. Right, yeah, remove the statement incrementing the counter on line 8. Alright, and then, yeah, what else do we need to do? So we want to say that on line 4 we want to wrap this inside a repeat until. Alright, so let's say, yeah, on line 4, right, the input statement, right, should be, I don't know, yeah, should be, you know, wrapped or like included inside. Right, let's say wrapped inside. Right, a repeat until. Right, okay, yeah, let's say a repeat until loop. Right, let's say until the input is greater than 0. Right, let's say, yeah, until the input number, right, is greater than 0. I don't know, yeah, maybe let's say just also again, or yeah, therefore, right, yeah, also, maybe we can then, because what we say, well, we can then remove the loop, sorry, okay, not the loop, right, remove the if statement. Right, let's say we can remove the if statement on line, yeah, so what line is this? Right, line 5. And let's explain why. Right, so since, right, since we know, right, that if we have exited the loop, right, so if we've exited the loop, then the number must be positive. Right, okay, yeah, so I think that's fine. Right, the next one, the flowchart represents an algorithm, and input of -1 will terminate the algorithm. Right, okay, so let's just try and read this, alright, try and figure out what it's doing first. And yeah, I'll just try and zoom out so we can see the whole thing. Alright, yeah, this is like super long. Alright, so well, obviously, yes, start is first. Then we assign 0 to total. Right, then we're going to input some value. And we check, well, is the value equal to -1? And if it is, right, then we just output the total and we stop. However, if it's not, right, then what we do, well, we do the value div5, right, we assign that to this 5.1 variable, Then we do the value divided by 5, which we assign to this 5.2 variable. And then we check what is, right, or if. So yeah, is 5.1 equal to 5.2? Right, so if it's not, well, we say rejected. Right, if it is, I guess we go on to the next thing. So what you can think, I mean, if we just think of an example, let's say 5.1 is 10. So if we go, well, 10 div 5, then I mean, what that's going to be, well, it's going to equal 2, right? Then if we also do, well, 10, 10 divided by 5 like this, right, that's also going to equal 2. But let's think if we do something like 9. So let's say, right, div, and yeah, let's go 9, right, and then 5. Well, here this is going to equal 1, right, because we're saying that, well, 9 can be wholly divided by 5 one time. But if we do, well, I guess if we do 9 divided by 5, is that going to be 1.8, I think? So effectively you can say, well, this is checking, yeah, is the number like wholly divisible by 5? Because if it is, right, well, then they're going to be equal, as we can see here. For example, yeah, 10 div 5 is going to be 2, right? 10 divided by 5 is also 2. But I mean, yeah, if it's not wholly divisible by 5, right, well, then they're going to be different. Which of course, well, then that's where it goes to this reject. Right, so then the next one, right, so I think then they just do the same for 10. So they do, well, the value div 10, right, the value divided by 10, check they're equal. Again, if it, well, if they're not, then it's going to output rejected. However, if they are, well, then it's going to do some total and then plus the value. Right, so I think what you can say then, well, this is checking that a number is both divisible by 5 and divisible by 10. And if it is divisible by both of them, well, then it's just going to be, sort of adding that value to the total. And then I guess finally at the end, right, it's just going to output this total. Yeah, so let's just try and like erase all of this stuff. I mean, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Like, I'm not sure like what the real purpose of this algorithm is. I mean, yeah, obviously this is what it's doing, but I'm not sure kind of why they're doing it. Right, but then, yes, then we just want to complete a trace table. Right, so I'm just going to duplicate this so I can see, yeah, both at the same time. Okay, and then yeah, let's zoom in here to this one. Right, so the first time then we just want to input 5. And I guess, well, if we look at the algorithm here at the start, so total is going to be 1. Okay, sorry, right, here, okay, yeah, total is going to be 0 at the start. Right, so let's just assign this 0. And then I think now, because this input value is going to be inside the loop, well, let's just jump to a new line or a new row. So yeah, this is going to be 5. Right, then we check, well, 5 div 5. So 5 div 5 is going to be 1. Okay, 5 divided by 5, right, that's also going to be 1. So here we check, so this one, right, is 5 equal to, well, is 5.1 equal to 5.2. So in this case, that's true, so we continue. Right, then we check, so I guess, well, right, 5 div 10, well, that's just going to be 0. And then, right, the next one, well, 5 divided by 10, right, that's going to be 0.5. Then we check, is 10.1 equal to 10.2? Right, well, in this case, it's going to be no. Okay, so we just output them rejected. Right, then the next one we try 50. So yeah, let's write 50 here as our value. Then what is value equal to 1 minus 1? All right, no. Right, so then we just do 50 divided, well, 50 div 5. So that's going to be 10. Right, 50 divided by 5 is also going to be 10. Right, the next one, yeah, is 5.1 equal to 5.2? All right, yes. Right, so then, yeah, then 50 div 10, well, that's going to be 5. And then, yeah, 50 divided by 10, right, that's also 5. Right, so in this case, right, well, yeah, this is equal. So then we're just going to add this to the total. Right, so total is then going to be, well, 0 plus 50. Alright, and then I think the next one's let's try and do quickly. So we've got 52. Right, 52 div 5, I mean, that's going to be 10. 52 divided by 5, is that, yeah, 10.4. Yeah, I think hopefully my maths is not wrong. Right, then 52 div 10, well, that's going to be 5. Okay, all right, sorry. So yeah, I mean, in this point we just stop, because here, well, this 5.1 is not equal to 5.2. Right, so here it's just going to output rejected. Right, and then the next one, so 555. I guess this one, yeah, well, that's 111. And then again, right, dividing is also 111. Right, so yeah, they're equal. And then, right, 555 div 10. Yeah, I mean, is that what, just 55? Yeah, I think so. And then this one should be what, 55.5? Yeah, hopefully I've not made a mistake. Right, but then of course, well, here they're not equal. So again, we're just going to go rejected. Right, then we have 57. Right, so 57 div 5, I mean, that's going to be, what, 11? Yeah, and then I guess this one is going to be 11.4. Right, so they're not equal, so again, let's say rejected. Right, okay, then we've got 500, so yeah, this one should be accepted. Right, so 500, well, that's going to be, yeah, okay, right, that's going to be 100. Right, this one is also 100. Right, dividing it by 10 is going to be 50. Well, yeah, div 10 and divided by 10 are both going to be 50. Right, so here then we just want to add this to the total, so that's going to now be 550. Right, then we get to the -1. So if you think, well, here we input the value of -1, right, that's going to be here. Right, then we check, is value equal to -1? Alright, so here it's going to be yes. Okay, and then finally we just output the total. So let's just go here, what the total is, 550. Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to put that in, you know, as a string. But I mean, I think you can also have it, you know, without the string, that's also fine. Or yeah, kind of, you know, without the quotes. Right, so describe the purpose of the algorithm. So again, I mean, I think this is just what we said. Let's say it's going to sum all of the numbers. Yeah, all right, so let's say this, sum all of the numbers that are divisible by 5 and 10. Right, let's say sum all of the numbers. I mean, let's say maybe that are, you know, perfectly divisible, or yeah, maybe like wholly divisible. Right, yeah, by both 5 and 10. I mean, yeah, hopefully that's enough for 2 marks. Like, maybe we can just expand this. So let's say, I don't know, yeah, like -1 is used to stop the program. Or maybe, yeah, if -1 is entered. Right, yeah, then the program will stop. Or yeah, we can say, right, the program will output the total. Right, yeah, output the total and stop. Alright, yeah, that should be fine. Right, the next one, consider the logic expression. Right, so z is 1, right, if. Yeah, and I mean, this is like a really weird kind of syntax they've used. I mean, when we're saying, right, z is 1 if, like, you can kind of think, I mean, let's say, I don't know, if we just do, right, z equals, like, right, a or b. I mean, this is just the same thing, because, well, here what we're saying is we're saying, well, z is true, you know, if, right, a is true, or if b is true. I mean, so yeah, maybe let's just rewrite this in more kind of standard, right, or more familiar kind of syntax. Right, so well, if a is 1, so well, that means, right, a equals true. So let's go a. Right, and c is not 1. So when we say c is not 1, you can kind of think of that, right, because let's say if c is 0, well then, right, I mean, not 1, well, that's going to be true, right, because, well, I mean, yeah, let's say, right, not 0 is going to be 1. So, I mean, yeah, well, like, basically then that's just going to be, right, and not c. Right, I mean, let's put that in brackets, and then, well, here we just have the and then the next one, which is going to be, right, b, and then, yeah, nor c. Yeah, I mean, I think this one I didn't explain that well. But if we say, right, a and, I guess here, right, so yeah, well, a is 1 and c is not 1. Then, of course, when we say not 1, well, this is checking, you know, is c equal to 0? So if C equals to 0, it's just the same as not C. Because if you think, well, if we go not 0, right, then not 0 is 1, because it just flips the 0. Yeah, that's kind of why this works. Right, so we want to just draw a logic circuit, okay. And yeah, let me just go up here so I can see the simplified version. Right, so first, we have A and not C. So let's just draw this C up here. Right, not, hopefully you remember, it's just the triangle then with the circle. Right, and then if we just want to do and, so and is then just going to be this kind of D. Right, and well then we want this B nor C. So I'm just going to jump here over this wire. Okay, so we can draw that just kind of like this. Yeah, that's not very good OR gate, but I think it's good enough. Right, then to make it a NOR, well, we just add a circle in front like this. Right, then we just want to add them together at the end. So again, and right, just the D like this. Okay, yeah, that should be fine. Right, then complete the truth table. Okay, so let's actually zoom out a bit, and let's try and write this thing again. Right, so the actual kind of extra columns we need, well, the first one is going to be not C. Right, then the next column is just going to be, well, this whole thing, right, so A and not C. Right, then we just want B nor C. And then, yeah, I guess that's fine, because then we can just add them together, right, to get this Z. Alright, so, okay, yeah, not that much. Alright, there we go. Okay, alright. So, right, first then we just want to go not C. So, of course, if we see a 0, that becomes a 1, right, 1 becomes a 0. So, I mean, here it's quite easy, right, just 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Right, then we want to go, well, A and not C. So here I'm just going to do as I always do. Obviously, we're looking here for A, right, also not C. And I want to look for where, both of them are 1. So let's try and find all of those rows that are 1, right, so this one, and yeah, also this one. Okay, and then that means everything else is then going to be a 0. Right, then if we do nor C, now, I mean, let's think, right, what is the truth table for nor? Because if we have an OR, I mean, I don't know, well, let's go, right, A or B. Right, so let's go, well, 0, 0, right, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So if we go A or B, well, right, so 0 or 0 is 0, right, 0 or 1, and well, yeah, these are just going to be 1s. So if we have a NOR, right, this will just get inverted. So that will just become, right, 1, and then, yeah, 3 zeros like this. So, I mean, what we're looking for, yeah, I guess let's go all B. Right, what we're looking for is well, when, yeah, B and C are both 0, right, that's when it's going to be true. So I guess, for example, this one, right, so here it's going to be true, and I guess right here is also going to be true. Yeah, and then, right, everything else is just going to be 0. Right, and then, right, well, so then we just want to take this, right, and this, and then just add them together. So I guess the only time we have 2 1s is going to be here. And then, yeah, everything else is then just going to be a 0. Alright, so I think, yeah, that should be okay. Right, then the variable saying is used to store string data in a program. Write the pseudocode statement to declare the variable saying. Alright, so I'm just going to copy this and let's just do it in the website. So I think to declare this saying is quite easy. And, well, we're just going to say, right, type string like that. Right, then part B, we want to go write the pseudocode statements to, well, allow a string to be input to the variable saying. Right, also store the content of the variable saying in a text file named quotations.txt. And make sure the text file is closed at the end of the algorithm. Okay, so, I mean, here, if we want, we could, like, declare another variable. Let's call it file name. Yeah, although, this one you don't have to do. But right, I'm just going to go file name, and then let's just assign this quotations. Right, and then what we can do, so first then we just want to ask them to input something into saying. So yeah, let's go input saying. And then right, then we just want to open file. And now this is going to be the file name. Okay, then we say that, let's say, well, the write mode. So here the write mode is going to be for write. Of course, if you're reading, you would go, well, for read. But yeah, here we're writing data. Right, then what we want to do, well, we want to say write file. The file we're writing to is, well, this quotations.txt. Right, so we've stored that in file name. And then, yeah, we're just going to go saying like this. And then, like it says, we just want to remember to close the file. Right, I mean, so let's, yeah, no, let's type in some quick, like maybe, yeah, one small step for man. Right, etc. And then, yeah, so here we see this works. And I mean, well, I mean, let's see, like, do people know which quote this is? I think, yeah, a lot of people should know this. Now, of course, you can do it like this. I mean, if you don't want to use this file name, so let me just copy that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to replace this file name. Where has that gone? All right, yeah, there we go. All right, so I mean, you can also do this, and yeah, I'm not really sure of another quote. Let's go hello world. And yeah, so if you want, you can just, you know, kind of hard code this quotations.txt file name. All right, and then we see that also updates. Yeah, okay, right, so that's everything there. Right then, 10, a database table called Site1 stores details of some holiday homes at a holiday park. The database shows the type of home, the number of guests, whether it's privately owned, and the weekly rate to hire it. Okay, and yeah, let me select this drawing tool. Right, so state the number of fields and the number of records in this database table. Right, so I mean the fields is quite easy because, well, the fields is just, I mean, basically the columns. So here we see, well, there's 5 columns, right, so 5 fields. Yeah, and you know, sometimes they also call fields attributes as well. Yeah, fields, attributes, columns, right, it's all the same. Right, then the records, I mean, that's just the rows. So right, let's just count these, right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I think that's 12. Yeah, okay, yeah, that should be 12. And again, you know, of course, these questions are easy, but they're also easy to make a silly mistake. So yeah, I would say, you know, just kind of double check, right, make sure you've counted it correctly. And again, the records, I mean, well, basically they're the rows. I mean, sometimes they might call it a tuple, but yeah, I think a record is more common, right, especially for IG. Right, so describe the purpose of a primary key. And I think, yeah, here they don't really have a primary key. I mean, I guess this name could be possibly. Right, so let's see what a primary key is used to uniquely identify, you know, any record. So yeah, let's say that a primary key, right, key, yeah, can be used, right, to uniquely identify any record in the table. And I mean, if we want to use kind of more specific terminology, right, let's go in the relation. Because I mean, well, like, yeah, basically a relation is what they would call tables, right, in a relational database. Right, so the database uses these data types: alphanumeric, character, Boolean, integer, real, date, and time. Right, complete the table to show, okay, the most appropriate data type for each field. So if we look at type, right, so type is, yeah, some sort of text. So I think that's then going to be the alphanumeric. Right, private. So, okay, private then is just going to be this Boolean. Right, Boolean, I guess the rate is probably going to be real. No, okay, alright, so here the rate is actually an integer. Okay, right, integer. And I think the number guessed, right, that's also integer. Yeah, I mean, let me just check. Yeah, right, so that's just a number. I guess showing how many people can stay there. Give the output that would be produced by the structured query language, right, or SQL statement. Right, first we want to select the name, number of guests, and rate, right, from Site1, right, that's the table, the relation, yeah, where number of guests is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so if we just go up here, Yeah, no, right, I think I'm just going to zoom out just so I can see everything all in one go. Right, and then let's just write that. So what do we want? We want the name. Yeah, hang on, wait, let me move this. Right, so name, number of guests, and then rate. Right, so where the number of guests is greater than 10, well, that's going to be Bay Lodge. Right, then we want the number of guests, that's going to be 10. And then wait, the rate was last, I think. Yeah, right, so then the rate is going to be last, right, so 1,000. Right, the next one that has more than, well, yeah, more than or equal to 10 guests, greater than or equal, that's this Coppice Lodge. Again, right, the guess is going to be 12, and then the price is, well, 1,200. Right, then the final one, I guess, West Lodge. Right, then again, it's going to be 12 and also 1,200. Alright, there we go. Okay, it says a two-dimensional 2D array called contacts is used to store names and telephone numbers. All the data is stored as strings, and the array must have the capacity to store 100 contacts right in the form. Well, column 1 has the contact name, and I mean, well, here it says last name then first name. Right, although actually this order doesn't matter. Yeah, we don't have to use this anywhere in the question. So basically just the name. Right, then column 2, well, just the telephone number. And again, remember, both of these are going to be strings. Right, the variable current size shows how many contacts are, well, currently in the array. Right, we want to write a program that, well, yeah, we want to write a program that does this. So it should display a menu of choices. That's going to be enter new contact details, display all the contacts, or yeah, delete all of the contacts. Right, we also want to validate the menu input. We want to allow up to a maximum of 5 new contacts to be added at any one time. Right, also don't allow more than 100 contacts in total. And after the new contacts have been added, we want to sort the array by contact name, right, as long as there are at least 2 contacts in the array. Right, then we want to output the whole of the array. And finally, we want to delete the contents of the array. So yeah, let's just go ahead. Yeah, well, let's just go ahead and do this. And well, as always, we can write, yeah, pseudocode or program code. We need comments, and we don't need to declare any of these variables, you know, that they've mentioned already. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and get started on this. Right, the first thing we want to do then, probably we just want to display this menu. Yeah, I think that can be the first thing we'll do. So let's go here and we'll just declare, right, and as always, well, let's go menu choice. Okay, that'll be of type integer. Yeah, I mean, they don't ask us for an exit, although I guess we can have an exit if we want, because yeah, otherwise there's kind of no way to stop the program. It's just going to loop, you know, indefinitely. Right, I mean, so let's say, well, we want to loop until menu choice equals 4. Because I guess, well, there's 3 valid options, and then yeah, 4 is going to be the exit. Right, and then, well, as always, let's just go output. Let's say, yeah, contact book or contact list. Right, and then what we're going to say, and yeah, I'm just going to do it all here again, okay, just so it outputs nicely on the input prompt. We want to write enter new contacts, or yeah, you know, new contact details. Right, again, let's have another new line. I'm just going to move this across a little bit. Right here we want to display contacts, and new line, and then 3 we just want to delete contacts. Okay, and then if we just have one more, and this will just be for, well, to exit. Right, then let's just go input, and we'll just go, yeah, menu choice. And yeah, I mean, it does say validate the menu input. So we could actually ask them to do this. Yeah, we could actually ask them to do this, you know, while it's not between 1 and 4. Okay, so yeah, I mean, alright, to do this, well, let's have another repeat. And here, let's just go until. And then this will be until menu choice is greater than or equal to 1. right, and menu choice is less than or equal to less than or equal to 4. Yeah, I think that will work. Yeah, I mean, well, let's just test it, see if it works, and we'll just have a kind of output goodbye message. So right, let's say they choose 1, right, it's going to ask again, like 2, it's going to choose again, and let's try 4, and yeah, 4 says goodbye. Okay, so this seems to be working. Right, the first one we want to do then, right, enter new contact details, and yeah, this is going to be the most complex. So I think, again, I mean, we could use an if, right, so we have, yeah, if menu choice equals 1, right, else, then we have a nested if, but again, this will be easier just to do a case of. Right, and then here, let's just go 1, right, and then, well, yeah, let's just write this already. So this will be display contacts. And yeah, let's just copy this, right, and we'll also just go end case. But of course, you know, we'll also have 2, which will be, okay, no, sorry, okay, 1 is going to be, right, let's say n, maybe right, add new contacts. Right, I mean, I'll just do 1 at the moment. You know, in the exam, it's probably best just to write all of them here. Yeah, write them first. But, you know, for the website, it will give us an error if we kind of, well, I mean, I guess we can do it. Right, let's just go cool. This will be display contacts. And then we can just create, you know, empty procedures, just so it doesn't give us any errors for, like, procedure not found. Right, that will then just be delete contacts. Yeah. And then I think, well, I mean, 4, I guess, well, 4 we can kind of do nothing, to be honest. Although there's actually not really an option. I mean, let's just say output. Yeah, we'll just say exiting. And then we can also have an otherwise. So here, let's just say invalid option. Or yeah, maybe invalid choice, right? Invalid option. Okay, so if we just go to the bottom here, let's go procedure. Right, we'll then just go add new contacts. And yeah, I'm just going to create some empty procedures at the moment, just so it doesn't give us any errors. Right, and then this one, and okay, this one. Alright, so I think, yeah, that should work. And then if we think for this add new contacts, right, first then it says we want to allow them to add up to 5 new contacts. So we'll have to ask them how many contacts to add. So let's say here we'll just say maybe num to add. Right, that's going to be an integer. And again, let's just have a repeat until, right, just to validate this. So let's say enter number of contacts to add, and let's give them the range 1 to 5. Right, then we'll just go input. Okay, this will be num to add. And then we want to do this, well, until num to add is greater than or equal to 1, and num to add is less than or equal to 5. Yeah, okay. Right, and then so what we want to do here, it says, yeah, okay, so we're not allowed more than 100 contacts. I think the way I'll do this is I'll just have an if statement, and then, well, inside the if statement, we will see that if the current size is, you know, greater than 100, well, of course, then, well, yeah, or if the current size equals 100, you know, we won't be able to add any more contacts. And right, I mean, as always, you know, if you do want this starter code, well, let me just go here. Okay, you click on this exam questions. You want to choose, I guess this one is May, June 23, and yeah, also paper 23. And, you know, click on that, and well, again, it's going to give you some, you know, random, yeah, kind of random contacts, you know, random phone number that you can use as starter code. Right, and then yeah, let's go here. So I think here then we want a for loop, and let's call it n, or yeah, we could call it, I don't know, maybe contact num. Yeah, I guess contact num, that should be fine. Right, let's go 1. So okay, we're going to start at 1, and then we want to go until the number to add. Right, then if we just close this, so let's have next contact num. And then let's say here we will just go, if, is it current size? Right, so if current size is less than 100, then we can add them. Right, else, maybe here let's just go, I don't know, can't have more than, or I don't know, maybe contact list already full, or contact book already full. Right, so here then I guess we just want to ask them, well, to enter a name and also to enter a phone number. So, I mean, we could just declare the name and phone number here, or we can declare it here as well. So I think let's just declare it here. Let's go name and we'll go phone number. Right, and these are both going to be of type string. And I think it says we also want to validate these. So I guess we can just validate that they're not empty. Right, that should be fine. So let's just go repeat. Let's say, right, enter, enter contact's name. I think that's fine. Right, and then let's just go, let's go input. And we want to go, just input into name. Right, we're just going to do this, well, until name is not equal to this. Until name is not equal to an empty string. Now, an alternate way to do that is we could say, until length of name is, equal, right, until length of name is greater than 0. That's going to be an equivalent way. So maybe here I'll do it this way, and then the next one I'll do it the other way. So here then we just want to input the phone number. So let's say until phone is not equal to an empty string, and let's just go output maybe enter phone, or maybe enter contact's phone. Right, and then let's just go input phone. So I think that's fine, and then what we'll do, then let's just go the current size +1, and the reason we do that is because, well, otherwise if we insert the current size, that will just kind of overwrite the last person that exists. So this will move it to basically the empty position, right, the next position. And then what we can do, let's go, is it contacts? Right, and this is going to be, so this will be the current size, and then if we go position 1, or column 1, right, that's going to be the name. Right, then if we go contacts, right, here again it's going to be current size, and then if we go column 2, that is going to be the phone. And then maybe here we'll just go like added contact, and let's just give them name and phone. So let's go name, then we'll just have maybe a space, something like that. I guess that's fine. Maybe just a pipe. Right, and then we'll just go phone, and I think that should be okay. So let's see if this works. Invalid choice doesn't seem to be used. So where is that? Right, line 44. So here then I just need to output. And I mean, it is quite good, the website did pick up this error. Right, so let's go, enter new contacts. Let's go maybe 2. I mean, let's say, I don't know, Bill, let's say 1, 2, 3. And maybe here I should output the number, like enter, contact 2's number. I mean, I don't know, let's say, I don't know, let's try Brian. Let's try 4, 5, 6. And that seems to work. And then if we just exit, and it says, added Brian and added Bill. So that's working. And I think what I'll do, maybe let's say enter contact. Let's go here, we'll go maybe the contact num. So enter contact 1's name, right, then enter contact 2's name, or enter contact 1's phone. Right, contact num, this is going to be like that, and I think like that. I mean, probably you know what this is going to do, but just to demonstrate this, let's go 2. And it says enter contact 1's name, or ABC. Right, and then contact 2. So this is working. Right, now I think the thing it does say, we also need to sort them. So this is why this one is the most complex. Right, so sort the array by contact name as long as there are at least 2 contacts in the array. So what we'll do then is, well, let's go here. And I mean, this is just going to be bubble sort. So we say if the current size is greater than or equal to 2, then we're going to sort them. And yeah, I think here we'll just have an end if. Right, now I'm going to declare these I'm going to declare these variables here probably. Right, although you could also declare them here if you want. Just declare them, anywhere inside the procedure. Right, so here then we're going to want, let's say did swap. And if you're sort of confused about bubble sort, I would say I do have a couple of videos covering this already. Right, one of them is I think it's called like entire IGCSE syllabus, and that's like 2.5 hours, and I think around 2 hours. Right, there's also timestamps, but yeah, I think around 2 hours I cover bubble sort. And I kind of draw it out, show how it works. But I mean, let's just do it here, kind of assuming people are semi-familiar already. Right, then let's also go end index. This is going to be integer. So I think as always, well, we just go did swap. Let's set this to true, and then we'll just say while did swap equals true. Right, let's have the end while. Right, then here we're going to set did swap to false, because again we set it to true first, just so it goes inside the loop the first time. And then we're saying, well, did swap is false, because basically, well, if it's out of order, right, then that means we have to swap it, and we'll set did swap to true. But yeah, if we never have to, if the array is not, in the incorrect order, then it means that did swap will stay false, right? And then of course, it will get to the end of the while, it will go back to the start, and because did swap is false, well, that means it can just exit the while loop. So yeah, this one means like once the array has been sorted, okay, then it will just stop. And then yeah, this end index, again, it just kind of goes to one less element each time. Because after the first loop, right, the rightmost element will be sorted. After the second loop, the 2 rightmost elements will be sorted. So yeah, this one will just kind of go one less each time. And I think right first then we want to start this, and this will be the current size -1. And the reason it's -1 is because, well, if we have 5 elements or 5 contacts, right, we compare elements 4 and 5. So yeah, that's going to be, so the end index in that case will be 4. Right, because we're doing, well, kind of the index +1, right, when we compare them. Because otherwise, if we compared, well, 5 and 6, all right, basically there's no element 6, so it would give us the array index out of bounds error. So anyway, let's try and do this. We want to go if, and this will be, so I guess we're sorting by name, right? So yeah, so this is gonna be. And in fact, right, let's remember to loop. So we want to go n, right, this will start at 1, and then we want to go until the current size. Okay, yeah, this will be until the end index. Right, and then here what we can do, let's say if, and we want to say if contacts, this will then be, index n, right, because this is the row. And we want to say, right, so name is going to be column 1, and we want to check if this is greater than contacts, and then this will be n+1, and then also column 1, okay, because it's both the name. Right, then if it is, well, then we just want to sort them. So here, let's just declare a variable, and we're actually going to need 2, right? We're going to need a temporary name, right, and we also need a temp phone as well. And right, these are both going to be strings. So as we always do, I mean, let's try and remember this. We want to say the temp name, and we want to assign that with right, contacts. That will be n1. Right, then we want to say contacts. Okay, this is going to be index. Yeah, let's go n+1. No, okay, sorry, let's go n. Then we'll assign this the value in n+1. And yeah, let me just remember to make it column 1 as well. Right, and then I think just to finish this, let's go contacts. Right, then we want to go n+1. Yeah, this will be index 1, and then we'll just assign this the temp name. Right, now hopefully I've not made a mistake there. And if this is confusing, again, just go back and watch the other bubble sort videos. because yeah, I don't have time really to, you know, cover this every video. Yeah, otherwise the videos will just, you know, drag on and on. All right. So yeah, I mean, let's copy that, because well, hopefully it's right. Although yeah, it's always kind of, you know, bad to copy, because well, maybe you're copying your mistake. Right, so here then the phone number is going to be column 2. Let's change this also to column 2. Yeah, column 2, and then here it's going to be temp phone. Right, so hopefully that's okay. And then we're just going to go the end index. That'll be end index -1. Because again, you know, well, on the first pass the rightmost element is sorted. On the second pass, you know, the 2 rightmost elements are sorted. So yeah, we have to compare 1 less each time. And yeah, that's just for efficiency. Alright, so I mean, hopefully that's fine. And then I think then, I mean, in order to test it, well, let's say we want to display all the contacts, right, just so we can test it. And yeah, we've already got this here in the menu choice. So I mean, yeah, well, these next two are actually going to be much easier. So let's go for, this can be n, and we want to start at 1. Then we just go to the current size, right, because that has the number of contacts. And then here, let's just output. Let's go the contacts, right, this will then be n. Yeah, I mean, maybe let's say, I mean, if we just want it on 1 line, that's okay. Alright, maybe let's here just give it, I don't know, let's say like all contacts. And let's say, for example, I mean, yeah, we'll try and format it quite nicely. So let's go contact 1. Yeah, alright, so let's go contact n, right, that'll be like contact 1. And then here, maybe let's just have a kind of hyphen, right, just to indent it slightly. Right, that'll be contacts n, and then this will be the name. Right, and then I think let's go here and we'll just have the phone number. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Okay, so let's yeah, let's try this. Right, error. Okay, so why is that? Okay, so here I forgot the next n. Right, that should be okay. Right, so I think first we just want to add a new contact, because well, it's not sorted by default. So let's just say 1, and we'll just go. Yeah, well, let's go Alan. Let's go, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Right, hopefully that's been sorted. So if we now go 2, and let's just exit. And yeah, I mean, I guess the moment of truth, right? Yeah, so B, then H, then L, yeah, L, right, M. Okay, but then this one is incorrect. Yeah, and okay, these are also incorrect. Okay, so what has gone wrong there? Okay, alright, that's a stupid mistake. I think it's probably because of this. So here I want to set did swap to be true. And again, you know, you see bubble sort, it's so easy to forget these small things, right? I mean, I kind of make a mistake almost every time. Right, let's go enter new contacts. Again, let's just go 1. Right, we'll go Alan, and let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's go display, and yeah, then we'll exit. And okay, this time, okay, so yeah, here we see it works, right? Austin. I'm not sure why this has no phone number. So obviously here we've done something wrong. Okay, so again, yeah, this is the problem with copying and pasting. Right, let's go temp phone, and yeah, let's try again. I guess third time lucky. Right, let's go 1 again. Okay, and yeah, moment of truth. Yeah, so Jane Austen. Yeah, and then I think this is working because, well, you see Alan has the phone number 1, 2, 3. I mean, let's check Mozart. Check it's the correct phone number. Yeah, so 489. Yeah, okay, this seems to be working. Right, now, if we just look at the final thing, yeah, I guess just delete. Right, so in order to delete them, well, basically we're just looping through again, and we just set everything to be an empty string. So let's go 4n, right, that's going to be 1. Then we'll go to current size, and then here let's go contacts, right, this will be n, well, yeah, row n, I guess column 1, and let's just set that to be an empty string. And then here, yeah, let's just copy and paste that. and we'll also set the phone number to be an empty string. Alright, then if we just go next then, and I think one thing we also need to do, if we look, okay, we also need to set this current size to be 0. Okay, and then I think this should work because here we set the current size, yeah, +1. So then when we delete and then add a new one, this should start again at 1, right? It's not going to start at 0, which would, you know, give us a kind of out of bounds error. I mean, let's try that. So let's say we just want to delete all the contacts. Then let's add a new contact. Again, let's go Alan, and we'll just go 1, 2, 3. Let's go display and exit. And yeah, okay, so here we see all contacts, right? Only Alan. And yeah, then it says exiting. So I think that's okay. I mean, here it says, yeah, okay, I mean, so this is not formatted that well when I've copied it. But I think at the end it says we want to output the whole array and also delete the entire array. So I'm not sure, well, I think maybe that means we just call them at the end, yeah, rather than just asking for them in the menu as well. So, I mean, for that one, well, we can just call them, well, I'm not, yeah, if we want, we can call them here, right after we've declared the procedures. Or I guess we can also just maybe, yeah, let's just go here as well. So let's say call, and this will be display contacts, and then here we can just call, and this will be delete contacts. And let's check this works. I mean, yeah, well, let's just go exit. Yeah, exiting, right, then it says all contacts, and yeah, I guess it then just deletes them. Right, guys, so I think, again, that's finished, and quickly I'll just add some comments, and I think probably it's easier to add comments at the end, you know, because, again, maybe you have to change some code, you have to, you know, scribble something out. Yeah, I guess if it gets unorganized, you know, you have to draw some arrows, yeah, saying this code goes here or something. But anyway, right, let's say here then, right, loop until, you know, until user chooses exit. Yeah, user chooses exit, and that's going to be option 4. Right, this one is going to, yeah, I guess, right, let's say loop until, you know, valid choice, and that's going to be 1 to 4. Right, I mean, in this case, this is going to say maybe perform user choice, or yeah, we could say call procedure or something, right, call procedure based on user choice. Rather than this one, let's say, yeah, call, right, call procedures before ending or before exiting. Right, so here then, let's say, yeah, maybe, yeah, only allow user to add 1 to 5 contacts, yeah, each time. Right here, this is going to be right, you know, add new contacts, and then this one, okay, so yeah, let's say validate, you know, non-empty name, and again, this is just what validate non-empty phone number. Okay, and then let's say here, right, increment. Or you know, let's say move to empty, you know, position in contact array. Then we'll just say maybe, yeah, add, or right, let's say assign, no, yeah, assign name and phone to contacts, to, you know, new position in contacts array. I think that's fine. I mean, yeah. So whereas, okay, here we go. So here then, this if statement, I guess we want to say, right, if not full, so yeah, if contacts is not full, right, I mean, yeah, I don't know, I mean, well, let's say here we can just go bubble sort based on name, and then this one, this is going to be, yeah, while array not sorted, right, do, yeah, do bubble sort. Right, this one, we'll say, yeah, decrement, Right, end, maybe just decrement end index for efficiency. Right, I mean this one will be, I don't know, yeah, like if, if out, or maybe if wrong order. Let's say then sort, or then swap. Let's say then swap elements. Right, I mean I think display contacts, this is quite simple, just looping through. Again, also quite simple. I mean we could say here reset current size. For in case user enters new contacts. Right, so I think that's fine. I mean it seems to be working. As you can see, it's quite a lot. 150 lines. Now, well, I mean I guess some of that here, like if we delete all of this, well I guess we got about 30. So let's say maybe 120 lines of actual code. I mean that's quite quite a big question really. And in particular, I guess this add new contacts, right? So kind of a lot, right? Quite difficult. But again, if you have any questions about this, well, ask in the comments, right? Ask on Discord, and either me or someone else can answer, right? So hope to see you again in the next video.